Ladies and gentlemen, Little Debbie number 2. A little Debbie Star Crunch in my life. A little Debbie Honey Bun by my side. Little Debbie Fudge Brownies all I need. Strawberry Shortcake Rolls what I see. Eating Little Debbie's not much fun. You'll be in the bathroom all night long. And if you insist you're a Debbie man, gonna spend your life sitting on the can. You tried it. You Tried Dat. We're back to try more Little Debbie snacks. I'm Nick Novak with my pals Chad Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
What's up?
Guys, our original plan was to spread these Little Debbie episodes out, but here we are. We're back at it. Have you recovered yet from the first episode?
Ugh. Not only have I not recovered, I'm like actively dreading this, I think, for like the first time. Like I took a look at these 4 snacks. They just look so repulsive to me just looking at them, and my stomach like had a visceral reaction to it based on some of the ones from the last Little Debbie episode.
Geiger?
Yeah, I think what's hard is that the first ep we did, we put the ones that I thought we would like in there, and we barely liked any of them. So that it can only lead, unless I'm massively surprised, I'm with Chad. These don't look super appealing. I'm already prepared to be angry that I ate the entirety of all 4 terrible snacks.
So yeah, stay tuned to this episode to hear us make a bunch of retching sounds.
The good thing is that we don't have to do it alone today. We have a guest, and she is anxiously waiting, cheering right now. And actually, before we introduce her, Geiger asked sort of if he could, what kind of questions he could ask and what he could reveal. And she basically just told us, nobody listens to your fucking show. Ask me whatever you want. No one's going to hear anything.
No, not quite my exact words.
They're right. She's right. Chad, why don't you give an introduction?
Sure. So, Chrissy has been one of our earliest podcast listeners. She was on board from the beginning, but more importantly, she's been a great friend of mine for, I don't know, something like 8 years now, something like that. I knew her from my wife met her when my wife was down in San Diego working on her PhD, and we sort of became good friends through her. And so yeah, it's with great honor that I bring Chrissy onto the podcast. Christine Ruffner, welcome. It's great to see you.
Yeah,
Woo!
what's up, Christine?
Estrogen finally enters the room.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, boys. I'm so happy to be here. And so pleased I picked this snack day to join.
Yeah.
You have a PhD, that is correct?
I do.
And is it also true that they are revoking it because of this appearance?
No, I think they're actually changing my PhD to change my name to Dr. Snack.
Your PhD is not in snacking. It's presumably in some lesser art.
If my PhD were in snacking, I don't think I'd be having these little guys. I might be eating something more edible today, but I'm so pleased to be part of the Little Debbie family today, even if I am more of a hostess girl.
That was one of the reasons that we pushed up this Little Debbie episode, was because we were thinking, okay, we can get Chrissy on the podcast. What are some of the snacks that she has access to? And I knew that you're there right now in sort of like backwoods Wisconsin, so there's got to be a Walmart nearby. And you can probably get Little Debbie there, but you're not going to get any of the artisanal, high-quality stuff that we normally try, like, Reese's Cups.
Eat a dick.
I'm sure that the local Walmart has plenty of potted meat.
You're right. They probably have dick in the Walmart before artisanal things.
So you are from Wisconsin originally.
Sure am.
And you hear us talk about Wisconsin a good deal on the podcast. How would you describe your snacking upbringing?
All artificial, all GMO, all the time. No limits, no dietary restrictions.
Was there any sort of particular childhood snacks that you really loved growing up?
I was a big kudos girl.
Kudos.
Me too. Well, not a girl, but big on kudos.
Can you outdo a kudos?
Yep.
So, okay, I have a question to ask about Chad, because you know Chad in a different light than we know him. Now, we have known him forever. I'm going to give you two options of ways to describe Chad, because I feel like people who don't know him as well might think of him differently. So, is he closer to a worldly tech sophisticate or closer to a sad Reese's slob? Which one would you say?
Which one of those has a neck beard waiting to happen?
I don't know.
And which one of those would his dream is to bathe in a bathtub of chocolate milk?
That is true.
Dream. I think that's a Saturday.
I gotta go Reese's.
So tell us what are some of your favorite snacks, things that are your regular go-tos. Maybe it's something that you've heard us talk about, or just something that's completely different.
I'm definitely a salty girl. Salty chips. I was very disappointed you guys weren't as impressed with the go-to of goldfish crackers. I just was listening to that episode recently. You got cheese, you got salt. You can't go wrong, but you guys were pretty harsh on Finn and his friends.
Finn can go fuck himself.
But yeah, definitely salty. Chocolate-covered pretzels, a mix of salty and sweet. I really know no limits when it comes to snacking. I usually live overseas, and so I don't always have access to the best snacks. But you guys are spot on with nothing can beat a Cool Ranch Dorito.
That's a Wisconsin right there. That's what I wanted to hear.
You are someone who has traveled. You've probably been to 10 times as many countries as I've been to. You've been all over the world. What is is there some like crazy, snack that you found or something really interesting you found in all your travels?
Yeah, definitely the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. I will always think of this. I was in Vietnam. I don't know if you've been there, Chad or Nix.
I've been to Laos is the closest I've been.
They eat fermented duck egg. So it's a duck egg that's like the fetus, the embryo of the duck is.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Has been fertilized.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's called balut. It is a foul, foul thing. So they crack it open like a soft-boiled egg, just the tip of it, and you look into the egg and you can see the embryo, the fetus of the duck, fertilized there, and it's sort of gelatinous with various juicy substance around it, and you just dig in with a spoon and enjoy. And I dug in with a spoon. I did not enjoy, but at least I tried that.
Did you have the Cool Ranch flavor, or was it a different kind of balut?
They were all out of Cool Ranch that day, apparently. My Vietnamese is a little bit sketchy, so I'm not sure I translated it correctly, but the old standard balut was not meeting my taste buds.
Novak, when are we trying balut on the podcast? Make it happen.
I think actually they have Little Debbie Balut is a new product.
Balut rolls.
Giving that a shot.
Oh god.
We will get into a little more of the snacking and Wisconsin talk with Chrissy as we go, but let's get started on these snacks because we're going to need some recovery time. We use a 5-point scale to rate our snacks: a love dat, like dat, indifferent to dat, dislike dat, and hate dat. So we're going to start with the Star Crunch. So find your Star Crunch, everybody.
That's the one that looks like a little Rice Krispie treat kind of thing, or a mini cow pie,
right.
You might say.
The brown circle.
So does somebody have the box so they can read like the description of the Star Crunch? What we're
I have a ripped off flap from the box that says, let me read it. It says Star Crunch. It also says cookies with caramel and crisp rice. And it says cosmic snacks. And that's all it says.
So maybe a Rice Krispie treat cookie or something.
Now, quick shout out. This is kind of a melding of the super fans here. Christy is on the podcast. But these snacks also came to us from longtime contributor and listener Des. So again, well, I guess I'll say thank you for being engaged in the podcast, Des, but I might not thank you for sending us these particular snacks when we're all said and done.
Ooh boy. Well, it has a smell and it has a taste. I'll say that.
It has the smell of an old shoe.
Yeah.
It's a weird chew. It's like not quite. It's chewy, but it's not chewy somehow.
Because the rice isn't actually crisp.
It's chewy and not chewy. It tastes good and also doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
It smells good and also doesn't smell good. It's like Schrodinger's cookie or something. Ugh, why did I say that?
And it's giving you diarrhea and also giving you diarrhea.
There's that high class tech guy using those big words.
All right. So as a guest, Christy, you're going to lead us off. You know the drill. Let us know your rating and your overall thoughts.
Yeah, I know the drill all too well. I will tell you guys before we get started that I sort of subconsciously rate all these foods that I try. Whenever I'm trying a food for the first time or even some old favorites, I'm thinking in my head, am I liking this? Am I indifferent to that? So thank you for introducing this taxonomy into my life. I mean, you really have changed my life. Until this moment, I was very grateful for you guys. Until now.
If only I had a grammatically incorrect way to identify how much I like something.
So what do you think?
Not good. It's not good. The rice isn't crisp. The chocolate is not so good. There's some caramel. You can't go wrong with caramel. But this is the one I was looking forward to the most. I haven't had one in a very long time. We're going on 20 years here. But I was thinking this is the one. You know what? I can actually take the rest of the box and finish them, but I'm not so sure. That said, I'm looking at the rest of the snacks, and at the risk of making my podcast debut as being completely negative, I feel like I have to go a little bit higher on this. Am I overthinking this, guys?
You are.
No.
Yes.
I think
If you don't like it, don't like it. You don't have to like it because it's your first snack.
I do this regularly. I do that regularly. Sometimes I give a little higher rating, so there's no problem with that. But if you were worried about having a negative debut here, you should not have come in the Little Debbie episode.
Yeah.
Point well taken. I don't like that.
All right.
Done.
Geiger, you're up next. What do you think?
Oh my god, guys, I messed it up. Wait. Geiger, sorry, I messed it up. I said I don't like that. Dislike that.
I was
Yeah.
about to call that out.
The pressure's getting to me.
Chrissy,
pressure's getting to me.
I have some news. We're kicking you off. You're done. You fucked up.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm kind of relieved.
None of this was recording. It was all a test, and you have failed.
You failed that.
All right. So, dislike, Geiger, what do you think?
1 second. Knock it off. Sorry. I looked over and my cat is like getting dominated by my dog in the corner of the room, and my dog's just going,
Your cat?
getting dominated by the dog.
You were yelling at your cat?
You're supposed to reserve that voice for your wife.
Betsy. Sorry, hold on. Betsy's dominating my cat in the corner of the room. It's just mounting it and batting at it.
Here's a little behind the scenes here. A lot of Geiger very frequently, when he's not talking, will look sideways, and it's clear he's talking to his wife, saying, "I'm doing the podcast."
She came down one time like, "When are you done?" I'm like, "Clearly not now." Well, and she doesn't understand is that this is my primary source of income. So if I'm not bringing in all these listeners through this quality content, then how are we going to eat, baby?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll just eat these snacks. I have to cut up this Star Crunch and feed my children.
Your primary source of income is donations from Dez.
Des, I'd really like to try, I don't know, like a roast chicken and maybe some soup. I guess I'm right down the middle. This is okay. It's not terrible. Like Christy alluded to, there's some caramel flavor to it that's not bad. I will agree the texture is all out of whack. There's no, when you look at something like this that's got a crispy thing in it, you think it's going to be crispy, and it's just soft, and it's really no difference between the middle and the outside. And I also don't taste a ton of chocolate. So it's not great. I also don't think it's horrible. Like, it just tastes like, I don't know, sweet, kind of in the middle. To me, this is indifferent to that. It's charitably, it's okay, but it's not great.
Charitable guy.
Yeah, I know.
Chad?
So since Des is going to be feeding us all from now on, can I just ask, like, instead of this, maybe she could say spring for French laundry or something like that instead? Maybe that would be good.
Yes,
But is that too much to ask?
She'll head over to the local Wisconsin-based French laundry. It's just French fries in a washing machine.
Doesn't she want to treat me to a $300 a person dinner?
Yeah.
Is that unreasonable?
Yeah.
All right. I was sort of in line with Geiger when I first bit into this, where I thought like, it doesn't really taste good. It certainly does not taste good. And the consistency is a fucking train wreck. But the aftertaste is really bad. It's just sitting here in my mouth, like just melting away my cheeks, basically. So I'm going to go dislike that. It's not good.
Okay. Look, Geiger, how are you giving this an indifference?
You act like that's some great rating.
I don't even know what I'm eating. There's no...
It's a Star Crunch. I just read it.
Read the box.
There's no discernible taste of any kind.
Yeah.
I don't taste necessarily chocolate or caramel. It's just an indiscernible crunch there. It's bad. It's nearly a hate dat, but there's nothing offensive about it. So I'm gonna go with a dislike dat. That's 3 dislikes and an indifferent. So Star Crunch, not a good start to start off. Okay.
Dealer's choice here.
Let's do the strawberry shortcake. Next.
All right, let me read the label here. It says Little Debbie strawberry shortcake rolls, artificially flavored. No fuck.
Yes.
There's no actual strawberries in here, guys.
That was my favorite part, that on the box, big letters, like, we want to really advertise this fact that this is going to taste completely crap.
There's a big picture of a strawberry with a giant no circle around it.
There's a picture of like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd shooting like laser guns right at the strawberry shortcake.
And then the picture of Dan Aykroyd getting blown by a ghost.
The logo is just a guy collecting these off a conveyor belt and dumping them into a bucket.
I tried to take this. So this thing comes wrapped in plastic, and there's a piece of like little paper cardboard or whatever that it's on, and mine is half stuck to the cardboard.
Mine as well.
Yes, mine too.
It's so gross.
It smells.
All right, well,
shitty.
Some fell on my shirt.
It
Get it
burns. This literally looks like a frosting flauta or something. It's like just a rolled up thing with frosting in it. I can't bring myself to bite it.
That's what she said.
Here's the thing about these. Now tell me, I can see you're all doing the same thing. Nobody's touching the cake.
Right.
Nobody's touching the cake, right? We're all pushing it out, but we're putting it in our body. But we refuse to touch it.
So there is some red stuff in there when you bite in.
My hands had to change my baby's diapers today, and like I got a bunch of poop on my hands, and I'd rather have that baby poop on my hands than this fucking Twinkie wannabe.
Chrissy, when's the last time that you had a Little Debbie snack?
I actually have a story about that. I'm so glad you asked, Novak. But it has to do with the fudge brownies, so we'll pause it and save it for the next flavor, huh?
What a professional.
But I'm remembering very quickly why that's my only story, and I definitely don't have a story about this monstrosity because it's just a bad bloody Twinkie.
What is the red stuff? There's no strawberry. What is the pink supposed to
Artificial
be?
flavoring.
Bloody jizz.
For sure.
Period blood.
Moon's blood, Geiger. It's Moon's
Moon's
blood.
blood. Moon's blood from Game of Thrones.
You're so sad when you said that. Artificial flavor. Do you, Chrissy, do you like Twinkies?
You know what? Every now and again, no. I've tried Twinkies as an adult. It's a terrible idea.
They're bad.
I spent last year I spent the year living in Egypt, and they have hostess projects galore. So at the convenience, right, your average kiosk, they have individually wrapped Twinkies, and I thought, it's a little taste of home. And then I thought, and I was like, but the worst taste of home. So I never had a Twinkie, even though it was one of the only snacks I could identify that wasn't in Arabic. I still refuse to eat one of those, and this is reminding me why. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Is it called like American Death Stick there or something like that?
It was called Death to the Americans Cake.
Yeah.
Okay. Geiger, you're leading us off. What do you think of this thing we just ate?
This thing is nasty. I do not like it. This is fucking terrible. It's literally, when you look up what the definition of artificial flavoring is, this is it. It's just this weird lingering aftertaste. It's inside of it is like this super sickly white frosting and then this red jelly that's I think supposed to be the strawberry. But it tastes like shit. The cake itself is like bad consistency. Like Chad said, it sticks to the package. I don't want to touch it. There's nothing about this is good, and it's so big. That's not what she's ever said. Don't worry. Like this is not a small snack. Like you just pop in your mouth. It's like it's fucking gross. This is bad. This is a meal.
It's
the
a meal.
worst meal
This
at the
is a meal.
shittiest restaurant, Michigan Laundry, whatever you call it. This is
Michigan Laundry.
This is bad.
Upper Peninsula Laundry.
This is a fucking hate that.
All right. There's a hate that to lead it off. Chad, what do you think?
I'm trying to decide if this is worse than the pecan spin wheel that we tried last episode. That's the other little Debbie snack we all gave hates to. I do think this is worse. I mean, the cake is really bad. That white jizz cream inside is bad. The moon's blood is bad. It's all bad from top to bottom. There's no redeeming qualities about this. Hate that.
All right. I'm going to stop this from being a flaming bag of dog shit. I'm not saying it's good.
Hold on.
Whoa.
You like the Twinkie, though, so your
I do
opinion's
like-
almost invalid.
I like Twinkies.
You question the Star Crunch. This is 1,000 times better than that. Or worse, I mean.
Look, it's the Star Crunch is a little bit better, a little bit, but not much. I'd put them on the same plane. I do like Twinkies. Okay, I unabashedly like Twinkies. So this has a little bit of a Twinkie-ness to it, but it still is really bad. It's so greasy. Like my hands are greasy, and I don't think I even touched the cake. Somehow. I don't know how that happened, but. It's just, I'm only going to give it a dislike that, a low dislike that, but it's not a hate for me. I'm going to keep it out of the gutter. Chrissy, you just shook your head at me in disgust. So you are probably going with the guys on this one. What do you
Yeah,
think?
absolutely. It's the only thing you could have done to make a Twinkie actually worse is by adding more gross shit to it. The fake strawberry, and then on the bottom there's also this extra layer of icing, as if the cream filling isn't bad enough. Then there's this hard crispy layer of icing on the bottom that sort of flakes off. You guys have that too, right? Or did I get some sort of Franken strawberry shortcake?
I love how your questions are just it is like lilting up into this bewildered question at the end. Am I seeing this correctly?
Yeah, you're seeing it. This thing's a piece of shit.
No, you're right. It sucks.
I've waited a year for this. Hate that.
This is how we treat our biggest fans.
When do we do the drink that segment with petroleum?
And just to create the visual, Chrissy is sitting there with jaw open, like in just pure shock that like this thing even exists. So 3 hates and a dislike. Really, a very bad ratings to start. They're gonna be easily combated by these last 2, but we'll do the second 2 after we do a segment. Geiger,
Hey man, what's up?
how you doing?
I love the segment. It's like my that pleases me to no end. Okay. So we talked about it at the top of the show. We have a doctor in our midst. And Chrissy, would you like to explain what your doctorate is, what you are a doctor of?
I thought I already explained I'm Dr. Snack.
Right.
But when I'm not Dr. Snack, I have a PhD in psychology, clinical psychology.
Okay.
So far too
Your last name is Snack, correct?
far too smart to be listening to this bullshit.
Which is probably the other reason I'm so interested in this podcast.
Right.
We're like 3 perfect case studies for you to become famous off of.
Yeah, 3 all of the same
They
ilk.
compulsively talk about a animatronic cheetah fucking people.
Yes, the cheetah. And I don't know if there's a word in our diagnostic manual to describe three boys who talk so much about their own nutsacks.
Well, when you got it, flaunt it. And I got that nutsack.
And indeed you do. Yeah, that's diagnostic criteria number 2.
Chad, you said when Chrissy came out here, she wasn't going to be telling it like it is. I wasn't aware that was the way this was going to go.
She's got to put us in our place.
I like getting podcasts where I'm not called on my shit. Tune in next time for my other podcast I just started called Nut Talk. We just sit there, talk about my testicles for about a good hour.
It's called Nuttin' Butt Sack.
Followed closely by Taint Daily.
Alrighty, so what the reason why Chrissy's profession is relevant? I'll pause while my wife loudly pushed dishes away. We all good? Thank you. We are. Sorry, but you could not hear as Novak sticking the half bitten off cheesy strawberry gordita crunch that we just ate in the camera.
I took a full bite of this shit. I
know, we're proud of you. It looks like a severed bone from the side. It's just so bloody.
This is my hand.
I just went back to the Star Crunch and took a bite out of it to try to get that taste of that strawberry thing out of my mouth.
No.
It was a bad move.
Poor life choice, Chad.
Get out with the segment, Geiger.
I'm trying.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. All
My
right.
balls aren't getting any smaller.
Ew.
They're getting larger?
This better be about nuts now. You change the segment.
Hold on.
Change it from whatever this doctor shit you're gonna do, and make it about nuts.
All right. So guys, we're gonna do whose scrotum is shinier, Jack or no? No, we're gonna do. I went to eatthis.com and I have a list of, I believe this is 13. We don't maybe necessarily get through all 13. We'll see how it goes. Phobias that are related to food or eating. And so it would be, originally my plan was to make this a contest. I don't think there's any possible way, no offense to Chad or Novak, that you'd get these. Maybe there's an outside shot given Chrissy's profession that she'll do that. So now that I said that, I've set you up to either look like a huge dipshit, bad at your job, or I need to understand more about how the profession works. So you can all get a guess, and then I'll just tell you what it is. So there's no competition, but just see if we can determine what these are. And bear with me on the pronunciations. All righty. Laconophobia.
Is that a fear of milk?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, that's a good guess. Let's see where you're going. Chrissy, what do you think?
I'll start out with the caveat that most people, I tend to work with displaced people and refugees, so most of them don't come to me with food phobias. But having said that,
fear of not having food, is that a fear?
It's more common.
They've got this crazy phobia called hunger.
So you're saying you don't actually work with people that have real problems. That's what you're saying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Syrian refugees, I mean, they need to learn some bigger vocabulary about their food choices. If it's not milk, then I don't know.
Okay.
I'll take a totally separate guess and say strawberry shortcake rolls.
Yeah. It's called artificial flavor phobia.
I've got that.
This is now, so we haven't got, this is actually something Chad has referred to as a youth. He maybe suffered from. This is a fear of vegetables.
Mm.
Oh.
All right.
Still do.
Good.
Why can't vegetables just be a Reese's cup?
What, are you Seinfeld now? What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
What is the deal with vegetables? Why aren't they made out of chocolate and peanut butter?
What is the deal with my nutsack?
Why isn't it made out of chocolate and peanut butter?
All right, the second one is gonna. At this pace, we're really setting a brisk jaunt through this list. Whoa, man. Wacolatovia. It's XOCOLATO phobia. So I think it's wacolatovia. I don't.
How does the word
say
with X start with? Hua, hua?
Well, no, because like if you like X, like in Spanish, I think has like somewhat of a hua sound. I think. Fine, it's exocolatophobia. Is that better?
No, try it one more time.
Nope.
Or you could just put it to music and play it on your xylophone.
Fuck yourself. No. I'm just gonna tell you, it's a fear of chocolate. Or a fear of chocolate or cocoa.
I thought we were guessing.
Yeah, no, you weren't. I couldn't even fucking pronounce the name. I was guessing how you say it. All right, I know how to say this one. Aluminum phobia.
All right. Chrissy, go first.
Aluminum phobia.
Aluminum phobia. The fear of Harry Potter spells.
Yes. No, that's unless you eat Harry Potter. That's no, it's a different podcast.
I got nothing. Fear of dairy again. I'm just gonna keep guessing dairy until that's a winner.
I'm gonna say the fear of leftovers, because you wrap leftovers in aluminum foil.
Okay, no Harry Potter, no dairy, no leftovers. Novak, you got a stab?
I'll say pizza.
The answer is a fear of garlic. Other alliums such as onion, chives, and shallots may also trigger major panic attacks, anxiety upon sight, scent, or contact.
How the fuck?
All right.
I don't know. As we all know, all mental illnesses are made up. Right, Chrissy?
Oh, boy.
Depends who you ask. I don't want to talk myself out of a job here.
Yeah, right. Okay. Dipnophobia. No, it has nothing to do with a diaper before you guys start talking about that.
Who's up? Novak?
All right, I'll go first. Dipophobia. I'll say fear of strawberry shortcake roll.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna go to that old joke again. All right, Chad.
What are the first three letters?
DEI. So it might be dapnophobia, I suppose.
The first three letters are X, L, V.
The first letters are Hua, O, and C.
I think it's Hua.
Juan. My name is Juan. You spell it X-A-N.
The name is the name spelled DEBBI. I think it's Hua.
You spelled Debbie?
All right. I'm going to say it is a fear of... I'm going to say it's a fear of surround sound speaker systems.
No.
Aren't they food?
Food or eating, yes.
What do you think, Chrissy?
I'm going to go fear of frozen foods.
Okay. No. It is arguably a form of social anxiety. People with dapnophobia fear dining with others and conversing while eating. So, kind of strange. All right. I'm going to skim through these because this is taking a while. All right. This is one that none of us clearly have. At least none of us. Maybe, Chrissy, I won't speak for you, but fuck. Okay, here we go. Bear with me. Arachnobutyrophobia. Nailed it.
What the fuck?
Arachnobutyrophobia.
Arachnobutyrophobia?
A fear of spiders' butts?
Could be.
Spider butts, yep. On the food list.
I remember that episode where you guys tried the potted spider butts.
Right.
Novak, what do you think?
All right. I'm just fucking picking a random food from the world of food and naming it apple.
Nope.
I think it's the...
Sorry.
Lovely.
I'm an old prospector now. Sorry.
I think it's the fear of eating the remains of somebody who pronounces X's like huach, huach, huach.
All right, Chad got it. Moving on. It is the fear of peanut butter getting stuck to the roof of your mouth.
Wow.
You'll know now why I didn't make this a contest, but I'm stunned that that's an actual diagnosed thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a stretch, Geiger. When you say diagnosis, that's a bit of a loose term. I'm not sure that there's a lot of insurance companies being billed for arachnataintophobia.
Hey, I got that arachnataintophobia. It's a lot of jazz musicians have that one, I think. Let's give it a back to that phobia. Oh, all right. There's the last one.
All right, would you say that these various conditions are crazy or wacky?
The password is whiskey. All right. What is this one? I'm seriously asking you because I don't know how to say it. All right. Conseco-telephobia. No, it is not the fear of Jose Canseco.
Conseco-telephobia?
Conseco-telephobia or Conseco-teleophobia. Jesus shit.
Of all the three of you on this podcast to take up the pronouncing of words, Geyer, I just have to give you shit because of Vaguely. Yes. I have loved your pronunciation of Vaguely since the very beginning.
I actually was about to say Vaguely before and I had to stop.
It brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we finally found words that are too big for Geiger's vocabulary.
That is true. He is Johnny Vocab.
I know. I am Mr. Words.
Vague.
I vaguely recall what this word meant. Vague. It's my vague face.
I would say that it is a fear of people reading your mind about your food cravings. I heard tele in there, so I'm going telepathic, something with the brain.
Oh, that was a real answer.
The smartest thing that's been ever said on this podcast.
This is 10 seconds of silence. 10 seconds of silence as we all debate whether we should just shut it down and start nut talk for like well, that's the end of the podcast right there. All right. I'm going to go, it's the fear of playing your favorite instrument, the xylophone.
I'm going to say it's the fear. So I know you said it's not the fear of Jose Canseco, but Jose Canseco is well known for being one of the premier steroid users. And as we know, steroids are one of the premier things that make your nutsack shrink. So I'm going to say it's a fear of other people knowing that your nutsack has shrunk.
Right.
And,
so let me remind
you. Eat that shrunken nutsack.
Okay. All right. There's the connection. Right. Thanks for bringing it back around. Otherwise, you were going to be wrong. But that's it. Yeah, it's the fear of someone eating your shrunken testicles. No.
The doctor stands corrected.
Yeah. You're all right that steroids are one of the premier and best and safest ways to shrink your nads. But no, this is the fear of chopsticks. I don't know why you're afraid of chopsticks.
Where did you find this?
Eatthis.com. But I will say there was another website that had even more of them, and most of these are repeated there. So unless the two websites talk to each other, it sounds serious.
All right, let's eat the fudge brownie.
What could be worse than listening to Geiger mispronounce these words? A fudge brownie.
All right, we've got the Fudge Brownies.
All right, so these fudge brownies have, speaking of nuts, they have a bunch of nuts on them. Do we know what kind of nuts these are?
Walnuts!
Walnuts!
Checking the... Let me check the thing. It says... Fudge brownies. So no, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's an approximation of a walnut, given the. I don't know. Fucking. Actually, given nothing. I have fucking.
The box of mine said walnuts.
Okay.
It is walnuts. I can fact check that for you guys.
Okay.
Now I knew that because, spoiler alert, eat these on occasion. So it is. If for those of you not familiar, but you may have had them as a kid. Is basically a pretty flat-shaped brownie. Can easily be broken into two pieces. Kind of about the size of a like a Cliff Bar or something like that. But that's literally where the connection, where the similarity to a Cliff
This
Bar
is like
ends.
throw them off a Cliff Bar. These have the consistency of like one of those like this bar saves lives things or something, or it's like so like grainy, smushy.
All right, Chad, you're our leadoff man here. What do you think of the fudge brownie?
Well, this is actually a pretty hard one because I don't like it, but I'm still eating it. Like I keep
Right.
taking bites.
Yeah.
There is something a little addictive about it.
Oh yeah.
It might be because instead of walnuts, mine was laced with cocaine. I think it's just because like I love brownies so much, and this vaguely reminds me of a brownie. So it's I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, it's not a brownie, and it's not good. Like it is chemicals loosely formed to try to make a brownie. It's as artificial as you can get. But I'm a sucker for that chocolate kind of stuff. But I can't go any higher than indifferent to that. It's still not something I ever would really go back to.
All right, and indifferent to start. I won't lie. I kind of like these. They're not great. I totally get that they're not great, and that they're probably even bad.
I kind of like these. They're bad.
It's true. I get that they are probably bad, but there's some connection to being a kid. I used to eat these pretty regularly as a kid. I like these better than. You'll see the same thing, but cosmic brownies. It's the same brownie, but with candy pieces on top. I like the nut version better.
That's from Little Debbie.
Yes, same thing. And as a kid, I actually would, I would get these nuts and I'd scrape them off. But now I eat the nuts. So it's slowly transitioning to nut talk. I'm trying to get more nut centric.
Do you feel as you've gotten bigger, maybe it's just from your perspective changing, but the nuts on the brownie have shrunken?
It seemed like every year up until like about 18, the nuts just got like fractionally smaller. And then from like 18 to somewhere between 18 and 20 on, they just stayed the same size. Which
So
was strange.
you growing up was the premier source for these nuts shrinking.
Yes, that's another way. No, the premier way is to use steroids, but this is definitely in the second tier.
The world-class
grow up.
tried and true method for shrinking your balls. Steroids.
All right, but I am going to give these a like that.
Jesus.
I know. Give me all the shit you want for it, but I'm going to give it a like that. So we have an indifferent and a like. Chrissy, what do you think?
So I got to tell you guys, this is the last time I had a Little Debbie snack was this snack in Cairo, Egypt last year. I had a friend of a friend got me access to the U.S. military commissary. So instead of having to go to the crappy Egyptian grocery store, you could go to like the true, it's like they took an American supermarket and just transplanted it there. It looks just like you're in an American place. There's bacon, there's various pork products. So I was filling the cart with bacon, with Johnsonville brats, with Mexican food. And the friend who let me into the commissary, an American military guy, put a box of these Little Debbie brownies in the cart. And I said, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Why?
This was his favorite. This was his like, you're having American food. You have to have a Little Debbie's fudge brownie. And I was like, absolutely not. We have fudge brownie mix. There's no better brownie than that comes from a mix.
Right.
But we took the brownies home, gave one to my roommate who took a bite, spit it out into the sink, said it was the most disgusting thing he's ever tasted. The box of brownies went into the back of the refrigerator, only to come out when we hosted a party for iftar, which is breaking the fast after Ramadan. So the only way we could get these brownies actually eaten by human beings was to give them to Muslims who'd been fasting all day and would have eaten anything at that point. And that is my story of Little Debbie's fudge brownies. That said, they do bring a little bit of reminiscence of a brownie, which is always a good thing. So I'm going to save it from the trademarked steaming pile of dog shit as Chad labels everything he doesn't like and go with a dislike that.
I think the main problem with that story with your friend when he got you into that commissary was he said, you know, he had a problem in his thesis, which was like, you're here getting American food. And then he put that in your box and that is not food. So like, you know, he sort of contradicted himself there.
Well, let's just be clear. He did not put anything in my box. It was in the cart.
He was like, I got you into the commissary. Now let me put these shrunken nuts in your box.
Yep.
Because they shrunk because he's over 18. The nuts shrunk.
Uh-huh.
Anyways.
They do?
No.
How do you have sex, Chad?
Yeah, I don't know.
Listening to your podcast and now participating in your podcast both simultaneously makes me wish more than ever in my life I had nuts so I could talk about them, and grateful that I never have had them and never will.
Chad's over there just dunking his nuts inside of women his whole life, thinking that's sex.
I just go and teabag somebody's pelvis, and that's how I have sex.
They're usually bigger. I just worked out, you see.
So do you think that the Muslims celebrating Ramadan, when it's done, would eat the strawberry cake roll?
You know what? There's only one way to find out. I'm going to have to go back to Egypt with a box of strawberry cake rolls. You know what? Absolutely not. There's no way they're going to eat that. It's disgusting.
Yeah, they won't even let you through customs with that shit. They're like, this is a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
You're going to have to put them in your box to get them in here.
Wouldn't they love that?
Teabag these strawberry shortcakes into your box. What?
I thought this was going to be a nicer, cleaner
No
episode.
shit.
Now that we had a respectable guest on.
Yeah.
This is worse than usual. All right, Geiger, what do you think?
I am concerned about Chad, and also, this food is no, Vic. It's fine. It's not like I said.
Chad's going back. He's going back.
No.
Did you finish
I'm
it?
indifferently going back.
Did you finish it, Chad?
No. It's like half. I ate half.
It's fine. It doesn't taste. To me, it doesn't even taste that chocolatey. It just tastes like sugar. It's the consistency is like glue. It's like really sticky and thick and
Go on.
Yep. And round and hairy and contained in the scrotum. It's a nut. Is what I'm saying. It's a nut. No, but it doesn't taste good. I don't think it tastes good. However, it's not horrible. I'm torn on in different. In truth, I can't say I dislike that. If I had to eat it, it's fine. It's sugary and pleasant enough, but it's no higher than an indifferent to that for me. It's not. I thought it would be the winner for me today, but I think I probably would rather eat the Star Crunch.
All right.
Wow.
So a like, two indifference, and a dislike, but the Fudge Brownie way out in front right now, with only a single contender left to challenge for the throne. And that is Honey Bun.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
Honey Bun is here. So Honey Bun, does someone have the package they can tell us about Honey Bun?
It says Honey Buns on it.
It looks like a cinnamon roll, right?
But it's also just looks like a glazed donut or something.
Chrissy, do you have any insight? I think you have the full box, or no?
No, I don't have it with me.
Okay. This does not smell good.
I'm pulling it out of the plastic, and I feel like I'm watching a child be birthed. Like, it's so gross.
The snack is crowning.
Oh,
I don't even want to take a bite. It smells really bad.
Don't do it. Quit the podcast. Do it now.
Guys, I have news. I've become Muslim and I'm fasting. Sorry, I can't eat it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have like a sort of a weird lemony aftertaste? Am I crazy?
Do I detect a hint of nutmeg? Fucking sucks.
I'm getting notes of lemon.
Are you guys picking up on that subtle coriander?
Oh, all right. Chrissy she's about half done with this thing.
I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Chrissy, you are leading off. Tell us what you think of the Honey Bun.
Yeah, pleasant surprise, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Did y'all grow up going to church? Stop making that face at me, Geiger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I did grow up going to church.
And you know what? After church in the Midwest, especially,
This is the
maybe
face. Say pleasant surprise again.
maybe this happens everywhere, but after church, they always had the like slightly stale donuts
Yeah.
that you would wait in line for, and as a kid, the only way you could get through church is to look forward to the slightly stale donuts. That's what this reminds me of. It's slightly stale donut after church, and it reminds me of how happy you are that church is over, and you have 6 days and 23 hours until you have to sit through that again, which is a good feeling. It's a really damn good feeling. That said, it doesn't taste necessarily that good. But I am going to go with indifferent to that because I am pleasantly surprised by the nostalgia it's evoked within me. And it tastes better than it smells, which is more than I can say for probably all of your nut sacks. Whoop!
Whoa!
Swish!
Shots fired. My nuts also taste terrible.
Man, this is a perfect lead-in for Nut Talk. Like, you can just carry the listeners straight over. All right, Geiger. What do you think of this thing?
Yeah, I do want to appreciate all the cross promotion you've given my secondary podcast. It's really helpful. Ironically, we get over there and just talk about food.
Are you running Nut Talk on your own? Are you like kind of the only? Is it just you?
It's just me
talking about nuts.
Yeah, I'm kind of running out of ways to describe my nuts.
He just takes his microphone and rubs it along his nutsack, and that sounds good for 40 minutes. Just nuts scraping on the mic.
Real quickly, I know this is a long podcast already, but real quickly, my favorite nutsack story.
What?
Novak, if you don't mind.
Favorite nutsack story?
Yes, please tell your favorite nutsack story.
Me?
It's your brother and mother on the phone together.
I'm like, what nutsack story of mine do you have? Okay.
Remember that one time in college when I licked your nutsack for an hour? That was my favorite story. So.
Remember that time I came over to your house and rubbed a microphone on your nutsack for an hour and then put it out on the internet? That story?
So do you want to tell the story or should I?
Yes. So you rubbed the microphone on my nutsack. It got 40 million downloads, and we were podcast of the year. You remember that?
It's the #1 ASMR podcast in the universe.
We were featured on NPR. No, so I will tell the story. When my brother was away at college, and he would call my mom regularly once a week or so, and I was about to walk out the door, and my mom said, "Wait, Nicholas, Steven says that he wants to know if you're going to give your friends a tea bag." And I said, Mom, he's just being an idiot. She said, "No, Nicholas, what is it? What's a tea bag?" And I said, "Mom, he's just being an idiot." And then she goes back to the phone and says, "He says it's when you put your nutsack on his chin."
That is great.
All right, Geiger, you were talking about Honey Bun?
Yeah. This thing's shitty. I don't like it at all. It's way, way, way too sweet. And to be fair, we've blown our taste buds out with all these other Little Debbie snacks, so my palate's probably not balanced, but it just is not good. It doesn't taste good. Its consistency's weird. It's super sticky. It smells like shit. This is a dislike that for me. I really... Actually, you know what? It's a hate that. I don't like it at all. It's a hate that. Fuck this thing to the ends of the earth. I don't like it at all. I don't know which one I dislike more. Yeah, I do know. The strawberry one's worse. The strawberry one is worse just because the aftertaste is worse, but this is not good. So, hate
okay. A hate from Geiger. Chad, what do you think?
You know, I smelled it and I was like immediately repulsed by the smell, but I've eaten half of it. I kind of see Chrissy's point there where it does taste like a low rent. Like, to me, there's no difference between, okay, this might lose me some fans. I know that like out there in the podcast verse, like most of the fans tune into this show for me, but so this might lose me some fans. But to me, there is no difference between this thing that I just ate and like a day old Krispy Kreme. And I say that being not a fan of Krispy Kreme at all. Like, I don't think Krispy Kreme is a good donut, but I don't know. It's not great, but it's also not that bad. Like, it's okay. I'm gonna go indifferent to that. It's fine. It's probably the best thing we ate today.
Wow.
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 You are wrong about that.
All right. Here's the thing. It is that bad. You say it's not that bad, but it is. That's the problem with your logic. It is awful. There's no redeeming quality to this. It's greasy, sticky. It tastes like shit. Your explanation for why it's okay is that it tastes like a day old Krispy Kreme. It's a stale Krispy Kreme, so it's decent. No, this is the worst thing of the day for me.
Wow.
I can barely look at it. I'm gonna give it a hate dat. So this pound gagger.
You ate the whole thing, Chrissy?
I ate the whole damn thing.
Wow.
It tastes like church is over. Hallelujah.
You know what?
Hallelujah.
It's gross as hell, but you really earned your YTD badge there by finishing off an entire honey bun.
For sure.
So props for that.
That was the goal.
So the winner today, by a good margin, is the fudge brownie.
Oh, can I object?
The loser today was every one of our listeners. Had to sit through 30 minutes of nut talk.
I mean, I think we can all agree that these things are all like Little Debbie, with the exception of the Nutty Buddy that we all kind of liked. For the most part, these snacks are all manufactured in like the bowels of hell. And this company probably shouldn't exist. People should not buy Little Debbie stuff. So there you go.
So, Chrissy, let's say you're going to be leaving the U.S. I know you often do, but let's say just for this scenario's sake, you're leaving in a day, and you get to take with you any 3 American snacks, and you will have infinite access to those snacks while you're overseas. What 3 snacks do you take with? So, what are your top of the hill snacks?
Okay, so it's we're recording on a Tuesday. I am leaving the country on Sunday, so that is prescient actually. And I'm going to somewhere where they probably have no American snacks. I'm not sure of the American snack situation in Papua New Guinea, but I can report back.
But they do eat nutsack there.
Why?
A live nutsack, because there's still cannibals there.
Yeah.
So it's still pulsating nutsack, and I can't believe I'm going on a permanent podcast and saying the words pulsating nutsack. Oh, Trad.
You've arrived! Initiation complete.
I gotta go Garrett's cheddar caramel popcorn mix. Chicago favorite.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, that is excellent. Good choice. Good first choice.
Yeah. Then I gotta go Twix bar for a chocolate bar. Caramel Twix bar is my go-to always.
Choice.
Because you eat one and then you got a whole second one just waiting for you.
That's what's known as the Kit Kat defense.
Yeah. And then for the third, it's gonna be super boring, but I gotta go nutsack. No, too much nutsack.
No
Too
such
much
thing.
nutsack.
So do you when you have
no,
when you
the
take
third
nutsack,
would.
No, tell us, Geiger. What were you going to say about nutsack? Finish that sentence. Finish your nutsack
I say
sentence.
when you take nutsack,
Right.
like when you have unlimited supply of nutsack, is it a
Sure.
giant scrotum full of individual nutsacks?
It's individually wrapped by Little Debbie herself.
This is disgusting.
Because then I know I can get a box. I can get a box full for $1.99, which tells you the quality of these snacks as well. I wanted to point that out, that all 4 of these snacks, a box full, is $1.99 each, which should have explained the podcast before we even started. Third snack would just be an endless supply of fruit. Can I say mixed fruit? Is that a cop-out? Oh God, you guys are giving me the worst blank looks. Fruit?
Wrong. That was the wrong answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I have to turn back my badge right now.
I want to be healthy and live a fulfilling life.
No, I know the third snack. I take it back. Cinnamon gummy bears.
Oh, that's a better answer than fucking fruit.
So let me get this straight. We had a respectable, nice doctor on the podcast, a friend, right? A friend, a good listener, a nice person by all regards, and we spent a full hour talking about nutsacks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that right? Is that what just happened?
Nailed it.
One other thing that we ask all our guests: what is your favorite Shaq highlight of Shaq's career?
My favorite Shaq highlight?
Do you know who Shaq is?
God, I do. I have to admit, this is one of the times in the podcast where I tend to tune out. God, really putting it under the wire with the mid-90s reference. Can we go back to talking about suicide refugees again?
Dealer's choice.
Instead, let me ask you this: Can you think of a bigger? Can you think of anyone who has a bigger nutsack than Shaq? They do call him Nut Shack.
Other than you.
I was waiting for
I was
it.
gonna say, that was the easiest bridge to follow there.
Yeah. You invited me onto this podcast, Hancock, and so you walk away with the nutsack trophy.
Yes, I am Nutsack King.
And as for a Shaq moment, I gotta go Shazam.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
The right
Correct.
answer.
No question.
Man, you totally redeemed yourself after that stupid fucking fruit comment. Man.
I'm gonna regret that for the rest of my life.
So, Geiger, where should people contact us if they want to?
Let's be clear. No one wants to contact us anymore. We've ruined that. Just all we ask is you don't unsubscribe. Just
We'll do better next time, we promise.
if you'd like to know more about steroids, aka the premier nut shrinking device devised, other than it's a dead tie, it's a dead heat between steroids and cold water.
And don't forget, growing older.
Growing older. Oh, Jesus. You can reach us at youtrieddat@gmail.com, hashtag youtrieddat on Twitter, the youtrieddat group, Stitcher, SoundCloud, probably in some self-help groups pretty soon. That's probably what we'll be. Holy shit. Chrissy, is there anything that you'd like to I don't know, do you have other podcasts, other interests, anything that you'd like to direct people's attention toward?
Promote some of your other projects? What?
Do you want to promote the Syrian refugee crisis?
Bring attention to, not promote.
I think the podcast's long enough as it is. We can just wrap it up right here.
Chrissy, is there something really serious and dear to your heart you want to tag at the end of a 45-minute nut talk session?
She's like, please end it.
My plane is leaving on Sunday. I need to go.
Sorry, guys, I'm breaking up. I gotta go.
Nutsack.
All right.
All right. Well, we want to really thank you, Chrissy, for coming on. We think you're great, and hopefully you can come back again sometime soon, and we'll have something other than Little Debbie snacks. But thanks so much for coming to the podcast.
I will. You're so welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I will do my best to find some sort of indigenous snack in Papua New Guinea, but given that it is one of the home countries of cannibalism, I'm not making any promises.
All right.
Well, we'll be back next time when we'll be trying out 3 brand new snacks.
Cannibalism.